about a company like Mudrex, right? Because you seem to be in the middle of a negative kind of a storm environment, right? There are a lot of organizations and startups who are harnessing from what is a perfect storm right now, with this entire AI narrative being built strongly. Maybe 2 years previously, if I had this conversation with you around crypto, maybe the response could have been more in the affirmatives, right? So let me sort of begin with this premise of Mudrex on how would you define yourself, and defining Mudrex in very simple and clear terms, right? Because you are in a very risky business. You're in the business of managing people's wealth. And whenever you manage anything in life, whatever it is, the word which does a lot of nuisance in your life is expectations, right? And it's essentially a business of expectation management. And I want to sort of understand from you in the next 35 to 40 minutes that we have on decoding the art of expectation management from Mudrex perspective, and sort of what does it really do differently which others can't. That would something have to understand.
Correct. So let me first start off by, resetting the landscape, going through a bear market. But periods like these are kind of sort of the best periods when products get built out. We are in our 6th year of running this company. We've gone through these bunch of cycles. And what we've seen again and again and again is in periods like these, the best kind of products get built, the best kinds of users come. And these periods typically see market changes that happen, market broader structure changes. And one such broader market structure change that we also are witnessing right now is that in crypto, since the last 3 years, the number of retail users have far outpaced the number of traders. And what that means is that the average person who is joining a crypto investment product, is looking to invest in crypto, is looking from the perspective of, here, I want to invest from the long term. I want to hold my money and create wealth in this. That's the thought process that we're seeing more and more and more and more people do. While in the process of building Mudrex out, the gap that we identified is that for retail users, they actually want simple investing products, simple investing help, step-by-step guidance as to how do you get onboarded, step-by-step guidance around taxation, regulation, and giving them just clear picture, clear info of what their portfolio is, and so on and so forth. That's the part Mudrex focuses on. We are a retail investor first product. We, in fact, very, very clearly written on our website and our app as well, that 97% of users try to do trading at scale, eventually end up losing money or not even beating FD returns, right? And the only real way of creating wealth in the longer run is doing systematic investing. And this part is true across asset classes. Across all the research we've done, all the backtesting we've done, we've seen again and again and again, that just simple systematic investing in a simple product helps you create the best wealth and helps you beat the vast majority of investors. And that's the part that Mudrex tries and solves. So we give you a simple product that helps you invest regularly. We build tools and information around that so that you can make your investing choices well and create wealth in the long run. Our hero product is a product called as CoinSets, which is loosely modeled along the lines of an index fund or a mutual fund for crypto. And having such simple thematic basket of tokens to invest in helps our users make that decision making easier and helps them invest in the long run.
So Edul, I just want to understand. I went through your website. Okay, your website says we are a team of experienced founders, traders, designers, and developers who are on a mission to bring advanced training and investing to everyone. So advanced trading and investing. Why do we need this? Because sorry to say, but your website does not clearly communicate the USP that you stand for. It tells you what to do, but what it brings into my life, how it changes my life, is not clear to me. It tells me, okay, these are a group of some smart IITians who know advanced investing very well. But why should somebody of a salary of, say, like 50,000 per month be interested in this? I at least can't get that. Sorry. So I want to understand this from you. When you say advanced investing, affordable, clearly, simply to everybody, you also have apps right now who say that, Shrija, you give me your 1 lakh per month or 2 lakh per month. And after 1 year, you take from me 12% annualized IRR, no headache. I don't need to learn or understand anything. I will just get my money at the end of it. So what is the user? Again, that is not clear. Should I get into the hassle of learning advanced investing from you?
Got it. So I think the advanced part here is the misnomer, and that's the part that we are talking about as well. Investing really means just doing the same disciplined, systematic actions again and again and again. For example, just simply putting in an SIP every single month in an index product far outbeats investing in any mutual fund out there. This is now consistently statistically proved, right? Now, this might be an advanced technique for a vast majority of users, but in reality, it's a very simple problem that people are trying to solve. That I just want a way in which I can consistently do disciplined investing. And that's the part that we are solving. It might seem as advanced. And as you rightly said, that the part on the website might be incorrectly put in, it might not be explaining correctly to our users, and we'll surely go back and change it. But the part that we want to focus on here, investing really means just doing consistent, disciplined actions again and again and again, and not being driven by your emotions. And the only way you can do it is if you get the right information or you have the right tools. And at Mudrex, we are wanting to build out both.
Yeah, I would agree to that, Edul, because I think you yourself as a founder is saying that the word advanced is a misnomer because it does not necessarily clarify anything to the end user. Maybe this is more catered to a VC or a professional set of people who understand the fintech language, but I'm understanding you are in the business of, say, what a grow is, right? Who is grow? Grow is speaking to average people. It has a very active content community which tells you what is SIP. If they go to in that basics, what is SIP, what is 20, if I'm earning 20,000 per month, should I start investing on that journey? So I have a point of view on that, that what does Mudrex do in my life that has to be communicated clearly? Because to me, it appears that, okay, it's some high-end crypto investing, which I will learn and understand coming on Mudrex platform. But what you are telling me, no, Shreya, we are here to make investing simple for you. The word advanced is a misnomer here. So suppose I want to ask you a flip question. If I'm earning 20,000 per month, is Mudrex relevant to me also in my life, or is it only above 50,000, 60,000 plus? Is it a certain bar that you have in your mind when you reach out to people?
Correct. So I think that's a great question because that will help me kind of sort of elaborate a bit more about what my thoughts personally are around crypto and around investing, right? So let's say if you're ever looking to invest, what you would typically want to do is diversify across different asset classes. And today, crypto is one such asset class that is becoming more and more popular in the asset portfolio that most people are holding. And typically, based on what stage of life you are in, what are your goals, aims, ambitions, what is your risk profile, you would want to invest anywhere between 5% to 10% of your asset net wealth into alternative asset classes like crypto, because they give you a healthy diversification and a healthy mix that helps you create wealth in the long term, right? So that part is relatively true across the board, irrespective of what you are earning. Now, Mudrex is relevant because we help you do that in a way that is aligned with you creating that loan. We are not telling you that, okay, आपके पास 20,000 है, park in 2,000 here, and 2 years later come back and you will have 300,000 in your account. Right? We are not saying that this is a 10x product, or we are not promising returns from that perspective. We are making crypto, this asset class, which should be a part of your overall portfolio basket, more accessible and easier for you to invest in. And the way we are doing that is by helping you make decisions better, by simplifying the investing process in giving you baskets like coin sets, by giving you content and information and helping you discover those answers by. So as a result, the thought process is that if you're looking to invest in crypto, you would want to do it systematically. There is no point just one-off buying Bitcoin and keeping it. You would want to do it systematically over a period so that you can average into it and go in for the longer run and create wealth for the long term. That is what you would want to do.
So is it relevant for me as 20,000 income owner? I don't think so, because I would be able to buy maybe half a coin or 1/3 of a coin or 0.1% of a coin. I don't know.
Yeah, so the way I would think of it is, let's say, for example, you are earning 20,000. Now, at the end of the day, your ambition will also be that you would want to invest somewhere, anywhere, and you would want to create some wealth for you in the longer run. And we can go much deeper into how should people invest and take care of their life requirements. But ideally, what you would want to start off by creating is creating a wealth bank for yourself, which is what you would want to go first. Then you would want to solve for your aspirations and goals, and then you would want to do slightly more longer term. So if you're investing and earning only 20,000, and your primary goal is that you just want to create a wealth bank for yourself, then you should really only be investing and parking money in FDs. That's what you should really be doing, because that is what you would want to build your base on top of. Once you've got that, emerges the fund base to go after. Then you'd want to go after making sure that your family is protected and making sure that you invest in things like insurance and term, etc., etc., etc. And then from there onwards, going towards creating wealth. At least that's the standard pathway that is advised to most people.
Okay, so what I'm understanding is that, of course, it is not relevant for some, it is relevant for some. And what this narrative that mutual fund sahi hai did for the Indian masses, right? This entire SIP phenomenon that every family should have some corpus of allocation in SIP. And that became the mantra for a lot of people. And I think they did a fabulous job in communicating the entire idea of compounding of returns for a long period of time. What are you trying to communicate with crypto? You are saying that crypto is an excellent tool for diversification. Crypto is an excellent tool for long-term wealth creation. And while as you are making your wealth portfolio, you should also include crypto in that part. So you are basically what Grow is for, say, mutual funds. You're trying to build that for crypto. So singularly
Absolutely.
focused on crypto, right? No other, singularly focused on that. Now, I recall a conversation with a unicorn founder who became a unicorn in a very short span of time. This entire crypto thing was very hot. And then it suddenly became a little off the radar, okay? And then he happens to tell me that, Shrija, now we are kind of becoming a sector agnostic. He pivoted to a wealth management platform. So this I see a lot happening with startup founders, that you go with the flavor. And as the flavor changes or as the flavor goes in and out of season, I mean, you are bound, right? If crypto goes out of flavor, you say that, okay, I'm not just doing crypto, I'm a more sort of broader wealth management platform. My question to you now, and I think now that I've understood what Mudrex is, that advanced is a misnomer, what you're basically trying to say is that essentially get crypto onto your wealth portfolio. That is one singular mission, that get crypto onto your wealth portfolio for long-term wealth creation.
Right.
Okay, now Edul, simple question, why crypto? And the second question to it, just given where crypto is right now in the flavor of institutional investors in India and abroad, what do you think are the challenges that you're facing? And I will also spend some time with Alankar after that. Yeah.
Of course. Sure. So I think this is a very, very broad question. We can spend probably 3 hours just talking about why crypto itself. But I think simply putting in, we started working on the crypto side of things about 5.5, 6 years now. Way back in June, July 2017 is when we originally started thinking about crypto and what it solves for reality in this scheme of things. And what crypto really does, it just makes transfer of value, storage of value, interchange and exchange of value in the age of the internet just much more efficient. And while we were originally thinking of building financial services products for users in India and across the world, we realized that a large problem of why a lot of services are not accessible to users is simply because inefficiencies in the existing systems are high. And those inefficiencies are because of intermediaries like banks, insurance agencies, service providers, and so on and so forth, that increase the cost of service and as a result reduce availability of those services to individuals. And we felt that as crypto grows and becomes more and more mature, and as more and more of the technology gets built out over the next maybe 5, 10, 15 years, more and more of the financial services part will move towards crypto, which includes wealth, savings, credit, insurance, payments, right? So we think that crypto is a technological, social, and almost a systemic society-wide change that will help improve how we interchange money in this world. And which is why crypto is important. And if it is such a seismic change, and if it is going to take the time that I'm saying, it's going to take 10, 15, 20 years, right? Because all of these changes take time to get implemented and widespread across the country. It is important for you to make this a part of your asset class so that you can create wealth out of it. At the end of the day, 20 years ago, people who felt that the internet would be the next wave through which wealth could be created and invested in it so that you could be a part of the system. Because what investing helps you do is it not only aligns you monetarily, but aligns you mentally as well. You have skin in the game, so you read more about it, you learn more about it, you understand more about it, you take part in the change itself, right? And I think that is why having crypto becomes more important. That if it is so important and it is going to change where the world is moving and how it is going to share value over an internet connected world, then participating in it is something that you must do so that you can understand where the world is. And you start off by putting in some money, creating some wealth out of it, learning more and more and more about what are the different technological changes that are happening, social changes that are happening, and so on and so forth. And that helps you grow and become better in the long run.
So I think really say that a systemic wealth creation is taking place. Take part of it now or miss on it later. That's what. So it's crypto wealth creation. And I think this argument that crypto will survive or not survive, like you said, it is a long drawn 3-hour conversation. I don't agree with some of the things that you said, but yes, long term seismic shift and essentially really being treated as a technological way of how the interchange of money, some of that is beginning to happen, and we're seeing perhaps more in the advanced markets. I'll come to you on what really is the narrative being built for crypto in India. I'll spend like some 5 to 10 minutes with Alankar here also. Yeah, I think we spent some time with Edul and we try to sort of understand what he's trying to communicate with it and what some changes sort of definitely have to be done there. But from a technology perspective, Alankar, I want to ask you that when I speak to these fintech entrepreneurs, I mean, there's Zerodha, there is Upstox, there is Grow, right? I mean, all of you are, the pedigree is excellent. IIT, IIM, excellent set of investors. From a distance, all of you also look very same. All of you also talk the same language, democratizing financial investing for people, making it as simple, Shrija, as possible. And our core is technology. The entire premise is technology. So I want to understand from you that how are you different from your, say, next best competitor? And give me 3 things in simple English from a technology perspective that you do which others don't.
Great. Shrija, thanks for the question and having me here on the podcast. Just to begin about, say when you asked, pointed out that Grow, Zerodha all seem very similar in terms of the language and the problem statement that we guys are working on. It's very interesting because at the start of my journey, I first started making a mobile credit card for India when I came back to India from Twitter in 2015. So my journey as an entrepreneur started as a fintech founder, and I was seeing the same problems of democratizing access to payments, having digital literacy, having digital transactions being adopted by the masses. So from the user's point of view, you are very correct that having digital mechanisms to usage of technology in their day-to-day life to make payments, to make save wealth, to access their FDs, doing simple things like seeing the maturity period of a FD are things that technology brings to you for your surface very quickly. So that's the first stage that India was, going with when 2015, 2022 or 23 has happened. So obviously you will hear some, similar lines from all the founders that we are digitizing everything. We are becoming transparent. We are also opening up the access. But realistically, if you want India to, progress at the, most exciting technologies, you really need to start thinking from the perspective that where the world in their digital ecosystems are moving. So technology and internet has reached Europe and United States much earlier. The number of smartphones, the internet penetration, all of that is a little ahead. So in terms of that, if you see how the blockchain was adopted or the Web3 technologies that arrived in those geographies and what they mean to the users of those geographies will tell you a little bit of the story why Web3 and blockchain is important in those terms in the Indian ecosystem as well. So what difference it provides from the technology point of view to the Indian investors now is that you can also be a part of this technological revolution that is happening, whether it's the transaction of money being happening on a blockchain or a real estate platform getting built on blockchain, or it is some sort of a Web3 game that is going to be the next Pokemon Go. If you want to be part of that economy, create and be the digital creators or the innovators in that platform, you will need access to buy, sell those tokens. You will need open and transform it, let's say uh, open and clear metrics of what is happening on those platforms. And Mudrex as a platform is, very cleanly focused on this asset class, so that we can solve these nuances that is happening in the blockchain technology space on a day-to-day basis. Something or the new technology happens in this rapidly evolving space every day. So we want to be that platform that solves that in a more focused manner, compared to being just a generic platform for investing.
No, so what are you doing differently? So basically, crypto focus. One is the focus that I get from a technology perspective, and sort of to what Edul alluded to, that long-term wealth creation for crypto. So how will I be enticed to come onto your platform? Suppose I have money in FD, I have money in SIP, I have money in sort of recurring deposits, I have money in stocks, and I come onto the Mudrex platform. What are the three things the platform is telling me that is enticing me to get converted into a user?
So there are two parts to this. One is the education part in the crypto space. And you very really rightly pointed out before that, how mutual fund Sahi campaign did a great job in educating the users about mutual fund. So at Mudrex, one of our focus is educating the users about the crypto and the right usages of the crypto and blockchain. And then once you get educated about it, you will want to make the right decisions of investments on those, whether it's SIP, whether it's long-term investments, and whether you just want a fixed return in a product like Vault of ours, which just gives you a fixed yield in the crypto space. So if you travel, I think there is a journey for a user, I think, that he has to take when he starts an onboarding of their crypto journey. So they will need to spend some time educating themselves about the nomenclatures, about the technology that they are investing in. And we really emphasize on that don't invest in anything that you don't understand. So we want people to understand what they are investing in, whether it's an SIP in a Bitcoin. Also, they should know what Bitcoin is doing, what Bitcoin halving is, when is it happening, what does it mean for you as an investor. I think there are very important things that people should talk about day to day and learn it, and then only make those decisions. So I think just having those kind of focuses help creating the right user base and the right education in the Indian ecosystem.
Okay, so now Edul, I come to you. So basically, it definitely is the creation of an asset class, right? And that becomes a lot more difficult. That makes the problem statement all the more difficult, right? Because you're also in the job of educating people and convincing them that crypto is good for them or not. And what I think the most important thing, I'm not necessarily sure if they're really understanding the usage of crypto in the right way. I'll give you an example. When this Reliance IPO happened, all of us remember the Reliance and the Lambani IPO happened, right? I mean, the day the Panwalas start talking about an IPO, you understand that it's the time to get out, right? That's exactly what happened with that Reliance Power IPO. Now, what is happening with Bitcoin, crypto as an asset class at large, especially in this country, when you have women kitty parties, and when they start talking about Bitcoin and crypto in a language which is like invest here and get this, that actually scares me quite a bit. Those are the dangerous signals which set the alarm bells ringing on just how incompetent we have been to explain the entire concept of crypto and what it really is. Also, in this conversation, I understand that I see people should not be using crypto and blockchain interchangeably. Blockchain as a technology established, understood. But crypto as an asset class, especially for wealth management, still questionable, at least in terms of what people understand of it. So, Edul, what is your response to some of these inferences that I have?
I think you are actually pretty right. The biggest problem is that folks understand crypto as an asset class where they park 10 rupees today and get 3,000 tomorrow, right? This narrative, this is a place where you can 100x your returns in 2 days is an unreasonable narrative to continue with. Right? The reality is that that is never possible. Almost surely, when something like that happens, it's a scam, right? It's that basic test. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Absolutely.
And that is the part that has been going wrong with this crypto narrative, at least in India. The conversation has always been about returns, not towards risk. The conversation has always been about, okay, you should park your money here, get 300% next year, because that is what happened last year. No one talks about that last year. In between, it went from that 300% to a minus 20%. And that is what, in my opinion, scares investors, right? Because as you rightly said, right, you are scared of crypto conversations happening inside kitty parties because those conversations are happening on the lines of how a gambling conversation would happen. Right? कि अरे विराट कोहली पे पैसा लगा लिए तो बना देंगे. Right? Those are the conversations that are the wrong kind of conversations to happen. When those conversations happen, your asset class and your mentality is towards, okay, I want to make 100x returns and go away. That typically always happens in most hype cycles. This is not necessarily true only for crypto. When stock markets explode, the same conversations also happen for small cap stocks.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And India is, because of its demographic distribution, because of its income disparity, for better or worse, always attracted to lottery kind of products, right? But we can park that aside simply because what we've seen is globally and also in India, more and more people have now started to think of crypto as an asset class where they realize this is not the reality. This is too good to be true. And this is not what you should expect. What you should expect that the only way in which you can create wealth is that if you stay invested for the longer run, the wealth creation might suffer through downs and might also suffer through ups. But because it's a up and coming asset class, you are likely taking this view that you want to participate in this asset class for the longer run. And helping people create that view is the problem that Mudrex is trying to solve. We are not trying to say that. And fortunately, what is also happening is that along with us, the media narrative is also changing. The conversations that people have around the world are also changing. It is moving less and less, more and more away from this gambling narrative to a wealth creation narrative, to an investing narrative, to a long-term asset narrative. And it is not only just things that we are saying, right? Like an exchange called as Gemini, it is one of the most popular exchanges in the US, did a very large study about I think almost 6 months ago. They published this report where they covered about 40,000 people across the world. And over there also they found out that more than 60% of users want to invest in crypto for the long, because that narrative has changed. There was a period of hype and euphoria, but that has now moved on. People are more sensible, more rational, are very curious about the asset class, but are looking for ways in which they can invest and participate in wealth creation. We've actually undertaken a very similar study in India as well, and Shivani has been running that for the last few months. And the numbers we see are actually very well in line. That more and more people say that, okay, they are investing in gold, they've got some money in FD, they are buying some equity, they would like to keep some part of their wealth in crypto as well, just because they see that it's a long-term wealth creation setup. And they understand that there are cycles. Like literally, I was speaking to my family doctor 2 days ago and spending time explaining to him what crypto is, why is it important, how does it matter, and why you should weigh both the pros and cons. Like if you want to gamble, of course, you can go ahead and gamble anywhere in any asset class. Right? At the end of the day, taking 5x leverage futures trades on a random stock will also end up giving you the same gambling thrill. The reality is that wealth creation can only happen systematically. So and that's the narrative change we are talking.
Yeah, so I think for the narrative change sort of that we're mentioning, and I think if I were to give you this very sort of high-priced advice, and just like in this conversation, just for free, I would say that I think what you should work on, what you should work on, I think from the content piece, why did mutual funds Sahi have worked? There are two parts to it, right? I think one was, of course, very catered to the Indian mindset, the saving mindset, right? It ultimately appealed to every household. Now, what is working with crypto? I think the narrative from Mudrex's perspective would be, crypto kyun sahi nahi hai? And there you illustrate 10 cases why crypto is not good for you in those cases, because that really is the narrative. The more you say crypto sahi hai, people will not believe it because they are not buying into it. But when a provider like Mudrex were to say crypto kyun sahi nahi hai, in that situation scale or in 1025 situations, that just makes it far more credible. And number two, I think we're talking about very different mindsets when we compare Germany and when we compare India. I'll tell you why. Look at the Credit Suisse Wealth Report. Who are the 2%, which is India's top 2%? Anybody having a salary of more than 3 lakhs per month. It takes as little as that to get to India's 2%. And who is India's poor people? Who are India's poor people, right? So the gap that we are talking about is huge. Now you got to understand whom are you catering to. Are you targeting this India's richy rich, which is top 3 lakhs? Then your market is 2%. Or are you really targeting somebody which is a middle income, which is like average 1 lakh per month, 1.5 lakh per month? Or are you targeting people who have a lot of unclaimed wealth, just lying, and who can look at crypto as a means of diversification? So for all these three cohorts, the language, which is really coming out as a consensus that crypto, like what you said, is that put money into crypto, it becomes 10x. The first job is to dismantle that narrative. I'll tell you, I have a younger brother who's 10 years younger to me, he's in Bangalore. He is obsessed with crypto. And I have also put in money and have lost money in crypto, but I understand for long enough because I've seen this cycles that it is for me akin to other asset classes. But there are people who are actually losing salaried wealth investing in crypto. And if you have a platform like this, it's actually the moral responsibility when you're managing somebody's wealth to tell them clearly what is working and more important, what should not work for them. So I think when mutual funds sahi hai, the risks are far lesser, also because it has legitimacy from the government. I also want to understand from you this entire crypto slugfest that you have with the finance ministry going on in terms of legitimacy. Where do we really think, see, technology will always outpace regulation. The slugfest will always continue because technology will evolve so fast, regulation will not be able to keep up with it. What is the communication with the finance corridors? I mean, how much that bothers you, Edul, as a company singularly focused on crypto as a founder, that why is this country not giving you the required infrastructure that you need to thrive, right? I mean, the budget statement was a very provocative statement, right? I mean, it almost compared it to gambling, right? So I want to understand that, what are you thinking in that direction?
Correct. So I think I would want to start off by saying that the job of the regulator is really hard. As you rightly said, 98% of India lives under 3 lakhs, right? So for them, their first and foremost interest is that people don't get duped. And they are wanting to make sure that the average retail investor is protected, right? And for that, what we've seen historically, what always happens is that you start off with a more stringent set of regulations and slowly open it up. So, and you can go back and think of it like way back in 2018, the RBI just went ahead and banned crypto. That has now opened up. Post that, there were taxation setups put in, which were there so that the transaction monitoring can happen, some more legitimacy can be added to the setup. And now from just taxation to conversations are moving on towards transaction monitoring, seeing that the right money is coming on from the right people, setting up standards that are applicable to payment gateway providers, banks, and so on and so forth for crypto companies as well. So in my opinion, it is moving from a point where you would be put into jail for 10 years to now taxing your income to now monitoring the transactions where it's. So that is a very progressive setup in itself.
So what we do need to
understand is that
it's moving in the right
direction. It's the right direction.
Okay.
Correct. And of course, regulatory changes take time, right? It's not going to happen overnight. The internet in India is 25 years old. The Data Protection Act is coming out now, which came out probably 7 years after GDPR came out. Right? So regulations take time, nuances are different, countries are different, and so on and so forth. As a result, the job of the regulator in making sure that they are protecting the investors is paramount. And what they try and do is they try and make sure that that protection stays always. And in my opinion, it's moving in the right direction. Not only in India, but world over. Right? Because we operate also in EU, we serve to global audience. We also see that there is this progress world over. In fact, in the EU, they recently launched a new set of regulations called as MiCA, that clearly clarify and distinguish between the different kind of activities that different kind of service providers in crypto can do, and who should be doing what is allowed in what case, what regulation should be in, etc., etc., etc. Right. So there is a global effort also going on from that perspective, and we need to understand that Bitcoin itself is just about 13 years old, and it is something that in the span of 13 years has captured the imagination of billions of people world over, and regulations do need to catch up, because at the end of the day, finance is probably the most regulated industry after maybe pharma or medicines is, right? So regulations do need to catch up. They will take their time. In my opinion, the progress has been great, and it is doing faster than what most people expected.
Okay, so let's talk with specifics about the Mudrex platform. We spoke of, I think it's been a very, very interesting and a thought-provoking conversation so far. A lot of food for thought coming in. How many users? And give me some sense of these users. Where are they coming from? Are these people in my age bracket of 30 to 35? Are these people below 30? Who are these people?
Correct. So we've got close to 1 million users on our product. About close to about 95% of them are from India. The rest 5% are from the rest of the world. We are slowly and steadily scaling up world over. A vast majority of these, so the age group that we target and the most kind of people that come to our platform are between the age group of 25 to 45. Almost 80% are male, 20% are female. Most people are either salaried or have some own business income. A vast majority are, of course, salaried. And they look at parking consistently. They look at parking money consistently inside of Mudrex, growing their wealth and growing their AUM. That's like the broad setup.
And how do you make money? You make money per transaction, or you make money as a percentage?
Yes. Yeah. No, we are not a money manager. We are not a wealth manager for you. We are not saying that we will guarantee you returns. So as a result, we don't charge a percentage of AUM as commission. We are a transactional platform. We enable access and enable buying and selling. We make a small cut over there.
How much is that cut?
We make about 0.25% whenever you go from any crypto to another crypto. When you on-ramp from INR to crypto and off-ramp, on the on-ramp side, there is no fee. On the off-ramp side, we charge you a 0.5%.
That's a lot. 0.5% is significant.
It's actually not that much considering everything in the world. Considering that you need to pay 1% TDS to the government. If you go back and look at Coinbase revenues, they charge about 5% spread in what they make. So we are about 10 times cheaper than Coinbase.
So of course, I mean, the elephant in the room is the ambition is to become Coinbase, right? I mean, let's address that and how far you are in that journey. And how much is the conversation with the investors like? What are the concerns coming to the table? What are the points of confrontation, if at all? Alankar, you want to sort of maybe have some point, and I'll get on to Edul also on this. Yeah.
I think I generally don't think of these things as becoming a Coinbase or a unicorn or things like that. I think for me, or whatever conversations we have internally is about we are on a mission that people should have long-term investment in an asset class that is going to be in the world, and it's going to have a much meaningful impact across the world. So we just want to be at that position that we provide the right value of crypto to the Indian investors in terms of both educating as well as providing the right instruments for them to use in the investment set. So we are just focused on building more and more such that conversation is always focused around what is the right product suite and what is the right communication content and education that we can provide to the users.
So Edul, in terms of revenues, give me some sense of revenues. So how much is the money like?
Unfortunately, can't disclose the exact revenue number, but what I can tell you is that we have enough runway to last time.
We're talking about runway. So are you profitable or not?
No, not profitable. And that's okay. We are a growing company and scaling up quickly.
So you are answering before my next question. You're preempting my question and saying that it's okay. I'm not making money as long as I have enough for the runway. But by when do you see yourself making money? I mean, those.
I think what you need to understand is that how big is the gap and how quickly it closes. We expect that we'll be break-even profitable in about 12 months. We were a profitable business about a year ago. Since then, we've scaled up and grown. And of course, as those costs scale up faster than revenue does, revenue is catching up. and hopefully will be again profitable in about.
So how much is this temptation to raise capital all the time will be there? Because you said we're a growing company, money will keep getting back into technology, keep pumping in. You gave a long timeline, next 12 months to become profitable, right? So how much is your cash burn like every month?
As I said, like effectively what matters is how long can we run without any inflow of capital. At our current burn rate, our current revenue and so on and so forth, we should easily last about 5 years. That's the amount of money that we have in the bank. But hopefully we get to profitability and then we don't need to ask questions like these. When should we raise our rest out of capital?
Good rule of business, raise money from the investors for expansion, but the business should be funded by the revenues. I mean, that golden rule of business 101 is not changed. And especially after COVID, I think founders have learned it the hard way. So, I mean, your conversations with the investors, so there's no pressure from the investors at all for profitability, or are there some concerns or pressures coming on that front?
No, I think from a mentality perspective, as a company, we are ourselves fairly different. We always have felt that the only true marker that you are creating value for this world is if you can make money out of it. Because at the end of the day, you can only make money or wealth in the short term by trying to not create value. But if you're creating value consistently, you'll be able to continue to grow and build out and make a profitable business. That's been a marker for us forever. Again, this is not the first year that we are running this company. We are in our 5.5 year, like our 6th year is where we are. So we've always had that focus, and we understand that is important. Which is why our focus has always been towards revenue and making sure that you are able to derive value. Because no one will pay you unless you are helping them make more value.
Absolutely.
Right? So if we are helping generate value, that's a clear marker of product market fit, as such, if you want to say. So generating value, continuing to generate revenue has always been our key focus, and that continues. Fortunately, our investors understand that is why they trust us in making sure that this is going to continue.
So product market fit is coming into its own now. You think, I mean, from the 5th year, maybe. I think you were saying that the pickup towards crypto or the narrative communication understanding is getting stronger. Because I don't think in the first 3 to 4 years, I mean, how has the trajectory really been in terms of understanding?
Yeah, so actually, what you need to also think of is that product market fit is not ki achieve ho gaya to pahunch gaye. It is a constantly evolving thing, because as time progresses, your market changes, and as a result, your product changes, your distribution channel change, and as a result, your product changes again. Right, so that is a continuous pathway. You might have PMF at this level, but not at this level as you grow and as you scale up, because now you've discovered a larger set of users beyond which you are creating your products for. Our first few years, we were very, very focused on the trader audience, because that trader audience was the largest set inside of crypto. But as I said early on, as this has changed and moved on to more and more and more retail over the last 2 years, we've built products for retail. And now we are starting to see that catch up happening again and again and again. So that's the part.
So from quick buck, you're moving to long-term wealth creation, which basically means a 360-degree change from the product.
Traders want tools and automations that can help them create wealth. I will tell you what traders want. Most traders, as I told you, fail in making money. The reason why they fail in making money is because they are extremely inconsistent with their trading behavior. They do not have the right tools, and more often than not, they are not able to make the right decisions. And the decisions they make are emotionally driven, because sudden market swings will make you emotionally. So we were building tools to help traders avoid those emotional decision making.
So how is the platform similar to Coinbase in terms of technology-wise, or you have made customizations for India? Is it specific for Indian languages? Is it English specific? I mean, how does it, and is it like tomorrow Coinbase sort of snaps you guys up? Is that the ambition? I mean, like,
I think Coinbase is an incorrect comparison. Coinbase is an exchange. Someone like from an India perspective, a Coinbase or a CoinSwitch might be more closer to what an exchange is. Mudrex is an investing platform. So our entire positioning, the way we set up, the way we structured, it looks, works, talks, and of course functions in a very, very different way from what an exchange product would look like. What you said earlier, it's like how a grow product would work. It's like how a grow is focusing on mutual funds or the equity asset class. That is more like what our product would be.
Grow for SIP, so Mudrex for crypto. So you like Grow as a company?
I mean, we admire a lot of other peers as well. Like, who is doing a lot of good work. IND Money is doing a lot of good work.
Which
some
one?
other different products have different offerings. And as as an entrepreneur, it's our job to learn from the market and understand what is improving, what is making better, and offer those products to our.
So
That's the job that
I think you have a lot of these ideas in your head, right? I mean, like the way Grow is consistently communicating to its people. I think you need to sort of get that very correct, especially keeping a user point of view and not your stakeholders, which are your investor fraternity. That is not how it will work out.
I think then we'll do a better job at putting that up.
Yeah, you have to, I guess so, because you are in the business of building an asset class, really. You're educating. First of all, you're educating people on what to do and what not to do, right? And I think, what are your expansion plans then? I think one goal which is becoming clear is that focus is there on crypto. And second is that to become profitable. You said your timeline is 12 months, and Shrija, we have enough in the bank to last 5 years. So I get the financial objective somehow, there's clarity. But in terms of expansion plans, because you also mentioned that Shrija, the product market fit has changed consistently as we have expanded the target market. So in the next 2 years, India 2025, 5 trillion economy, what does that mean for Mudrex?
Of course, India is a key market for us. We think it's huge as such in general, and the product offering that we have is very aligned to the user mentality from a lot of different perspectives as well. So India continues to be an audience and a market that we continue to scale up and invest in. The other important part that's also very interesting and unique about crypto is because it's a global asset class. As Alankar pointed out much earlier, the problems of users are similar across the world. The asset class is growing at a very rapid pace across the world. And that gives us the ability to reach out to and cater to a much wider audience as well. And we've started taking some baby steps towards that. We've just started our user acquisition and our specific targeting in EU. Inside of EU, we are starting with Italy and scaling up over there. The Italian user base is very similar to Indian audience in some sense, but very different also in a very different sense as well. And after a lot of understanding of which all views are best, we figured that narrow market would be a great market for us to start experimenting repeatability of our global product and see how that's going.
Okay, I come to you now, Alankar. I think they mentioned Grow quite a few times, and I happened to speak to the Grow founder also. I think one thing is to work, and I remember him telling me that, Shrija, we really began with problem solving at a very minuscule level, answering questions on Quora and some of that, and then from content to community to commerce as to what they're doing. And I think that simplification of the platform really remains the USP, right, for a lot of people. But I want to understand that from you, that how are you seeing to it that the platform is extremely simple for anyone to use, like this crypto, also a new asset class, new toy to play with, new kind of understanding. So how do you sort of make sure that it's extremely simple for someone to sort of play with, right? And tomorrow, if Go or any other company were to add crypto as a vertical, do you think would that be a potential challenge? What is the enough moat that you have? And moat is basically the competitive advantage, extremely defensibility, which you think that some of these big guys can't replicate, even if they were to add crypto as a vertical.
Yeah. So to answer the first part, which I think solving the problem for the users in terms of product is actually always same for any class of product, whether it be fintech or non-fintech, is I think listening to the customers. And from day one, when we were making trading based tools, we were talking to a lot of traders to listen to their problem statements, that what kind of tools they want, because crypto is a new asset class. You want to do everything on. So what do you want with that? And we build our product for that. And when we started, focusing on the long-term investment, that's what we have from day one, tried to do, listening. But whenever we release a product, whether it was coin sets, which kind of coin sets, which kind of, when we released Vault as our product, which is our 10% fixed yield product, we talk to customers what they want in that, and what is the kind of systematic investment plans we are releasing, what they want. So I think in those terms, just listening to customers and identifying their pain points helps a lot in cleaning out your whatever thoughts you are having about your product. And just make it simple for the users. And if you see our app, you will realize that it's in those terms very, very, very user friendly and
I did go
simple
through it.
in terms to
I did go through it.
invest, in terms of investing in a product. So if you understand and have made a decision about investing, I think that part is really seamless right now, and great in the app. And we have like great user ratings and reviews on our app as well. So that's the first part of the question. The second part, with whether we think adding, if people like Grow or Zerodha would add a crypto vertical, I think that actually will be really, really phenomenal for us, because as you rightly said, it's sort of a asset class that's getting created amongst the customers. I would not say validation more, but sort of like I'd say market creation more, because India as a whole country, we were having very bad relationship with money to begin with, forget investing. So only the last 10 years we have improved that in terms of investments, in terms of stocks or mutual funds, and improving that as that relationship of investing with a product class which is so immature right now in its early stage of investment years, is both good and a bad sign for somebody who has, let's say, like your brother, you said, who is so young. The first step in finance for him is a crypto investment. So then that, to get it right, I think it's very valuable. And in terms of the financial literacy and the intersection of the investment era for India, at that, if it merges with the crypto offerings, I would say it will be better rather than as a competition for any companies right now.
Yeah, there was an article actually recently that can AI replicate Warren Buffett? So you are saying no, that cannot not happen. The chatbot AI will not happen, but maybe we'll see more smart contracting coming from AI. I had a very interesting conversation with both of you, Alankar and Edul, on Mudrex, and I just hope the next time I get to talk to you all, you guys will tell me that Shrita, we're already profitable and we have reached our financial objectives. Yes.
Definitely.
There'll be a better sort of roadmap on telling people on what Mudrex is, or what exactly you're trying to solve, or perhaps what not solving. So till the time I see you next, goodbye and good luck. Thank you.